Hey loves, how are you guys doing? Alright, it was brought to my attention by a wonderful friend that I should not have mentioned a certain individual's name in a video that I did and uploaded. For those of you that have seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that have not, I will basically let you guys know what's going on. Yesterday, it was brought to mine and my husband's attention that our lease was not going to be renewed. Now, there was a certain individual in my previous video that said I thrashed the house and I should own up to it. Okay, I am a woman of my word, and I am a woman of integrity. And if I make a mistake, by all means, I will fix what I have done. Now, the damages that have been mentioned are... there's a door jamb, I guess it's like a molding around the door that Spike had scratched. And Spike had got overzealous and broke a set of blinds. No problem. I by no means have no problem paying for that. And in our home we have closets that, you know, they're like the old-fashioned type that slide open. And the closets had fallen and hit my kids in the head. And I'm sorry, with head injuries and everything, and so many people having passed from it, that's not something that I'm going to take lightly. So I took the closet doors off of their closets, and I placed them in his back storage unit. He never once informed me that the storage unit leaked, so I did not think that they would warp, and they did. So those I will also be more than happy to fix. And one little area of the window was broke, which we also are going to get fixed. In terms of trashing a home, that's not the type of person I am, and that's not why he's wanting to get rid of us. I think he claims he doesn't want to get rid of us, but I think what's going on is this particular individual feels that he can bully us into paying the money, continue to charge us a high rate on a rental property that should not be charged, because in this area, apparently, the going rate for the homes, you're not supposed to charge more than 15%, something like that. And he has already disclosed to me what this property is worth. So I know that I'm paying well over the amount, and I have no problem with that. I pay $9.50 a month, and that's my obligation, and I pay my bills. That's just how I am. But what I had asked for advice on, and I'm a little more composed now because I have been praying, and I'm starting to feel a sense of peace, and I know that God is going to lift the burden from me and my family. But what I had asked advice on was simply, I have rented, I haven't really rented. I rented one apartment one time, and I did it for a year, and then I had my own house before me and my husband met. So I never really had to deal with rentals. As a single mother, I'll be the first to admit that I lived with my mother. She helped me out. And I was married for a while and lived in military housing with my first husband. And then when Renee came along, we lived in military housing for 6 years. And this is basically the first rental situation for me. So I really don't know how things run. I don't know how things go. And apparently, I guess, Renee, as you know, sorry, I had to move my chair. As you know, Renee's dad has liver cancer, and we have not been a family dynamic since November. We only see each other on occasion. He's here right now helping me prepare for my de-stash sale. But other than that, he has not been home with us. He's been away. And it has been extremely difficult for us as a family. And I had been praying for quite some time about what God had in store for me, if this is what He really wanted for us. And a big part of me feels like this is God's way of saying, Jackie, I'm giving you a way out. You know, and we've discussed this with my in-laws, and they've asked us to come live with them. And, you know, maybe this is God's way of saying, this is your way to be with your husband. This is your way to be with your kids. You know, go do it. And so, you know, we're in the process of preparing for that. And it's just, I'm not, you know, as somebody referred, quit doing YouTube videos to get a handout or to get sympathy. I am by no means trying to get sympathy or get a handout. I've never, ever in my life asked to get something for nothing. I've never been that type of person. I've worked hard for my family. Renee has worked hard for the family. And, you know, the only thing I've asked for that might be construed as stepping my limits or asking for too much is asking for prayers for my family, because I believe in the power of prayer. But I'm not asking for anybody just to hand money over to me. No. And I know for those of you that didn't see my previous video, this is probably kind of confusing, but it's just very difficult because at this point in time, I don't know what God has in store for us. But I also don't want to question what His plan is for me or my family. I have been an emotional wreck since yesterday when we spoke with, you know, our landlord, and he had asked us to come up with another first and last month's rent, as well as coming up with another pet deposit. But frankly, he doesn't want us to have our pets. He wants us to get rid of them all. And I just can't do that. My pets are a part of my family, and I've always believed like they're the most loyal and loving and trusting creatures. And yeah, maybe you could give them to family or friends, but it's not the same. When we're at my in-laws' house, all of the dogs are together, they're running, they're enjoying themselves. It's so much fun. And, you know, I can't just give the dogs away. And, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get in a tangent with that. But, so he wants another pet deposit. And on top of the pet deposit, he wants us, instead of a $950 deposit, a $250 deposit that we have already paid, he wants us to come up with a $950 deposit, plus the pet deposits are non-refundable. So, correct me if I'm wrong, the $250 that we gave as a deposit, and the $950 non-refundable pet deposits, $750. That $750 should carry over into any damages that, you know, the pets might have created, carpets having to be cleaned or whatever. That's what I thought when you pay a non-refundable pet deposit. It's so that if anything, you know, to steam the carpets, and which we have planned on doing when we moved. We had planned on making sure that this house was exactly as it was before we left. There is a lot of things in the house that are questionable and unsafe in my eyes. And I've done some research, so I'm going to seek legal advice come Monday, and see what my rights are as a tenant. But nonetheless, I am overwhelmed. Brandon and Jossie are arguing right now. I'm in the craft room. But it's not... Some people just completely misconstrued what I said, and then I had some people that were wonderfully amazing. And it's just taking it one day at a time. I love to watch them smile. And it's so nice to have all of us together. Although Nathan's not here. He'll be here tomorrow. Yay! But yeah, it hasn't been easy for any of us. And we're not asking for handouts. We're asking for prayers, and we're asking for advice, because we really don't know if what's going on is ethical, if it's legal. And like I said, we are going to seek legal advice, but you know, I'm new to all of this, and I'm scared. I'm not going to lie. For the first time in a very, very long time, I'm scared. But at the same time, I know that God says, fear not, and that He's going to be my shield, and that He's going to guide me through this. And, you know, Footprints in the Sand is my all-time favorite poem. And I know that during this difficult time in my life and my family's life, He's carrying us through it. And I don't doubt that for a second. But I know right now it's very difficult. It's scary, because the 18th is right around the corner. And I was supposed to have a sale on the 18th. And now I will be packing. And you know, I have so much stuff that I haven't even begun to hit the surface of things I want to sell. But I just keep looking around. I'm sorry. But it's just very, very, excuse me, difficult. And I just know that in the end, everything will work out. Like I said, I did make some mistakes in my previous video of making comments. The other thing I do want advice on is this particular landlord came into our home yesterday and broke a crock pot that is very, very important to me. It was my husband's great-grandmother's, then it was his grandmother's, then it was his mother's, and then it was mine. So it's gone down the line 4 generations. They don't make crock pots like this anymore. And as this particular individual came in, because there were a couple scratches on the microwave oven, because my son, bless his heart, was trying to clean it. So there were a couple scratches, so he demanded that he come in and take out the stainless steel appliances so that he can move it into his mother's home and put in some cheapy white ones. That, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain. We're in a rock and a hard place, and we have to deal with it at this point. So he did that, and demanded that he be able to come in and fix things around the house before we move. Also, we deposited $950 into his account, and he is now saying he's going to keep that for damages. But from what I understand, the $250 and the $750 non-refundable should go towards any damages that were inquired in this household. So my advice is he able to keep our money, even though we've already paid deposits? Because I basically have decided that we're just going to move on, because there's no way I'm going to go ahead and pay another pet deposit, another first and last month's rent, and a $950 deposit on top of the $250 I've already done, plus the $950 he has sitting in his account that is ours. I'm just not going to let it happen. I'm not going to be bullied. But what are my rights in terms of him breaking a family heirloom? I mean, I had asked him before he even came in, what happens if you break something in my household while you're moving everything around just so you can get your oven and your microwave out? And he said that he would own up to it. So, obviously there's been no owning up to it at this point. So, what do you guys suggest? I'm going to leave that leave it there. I'm going to thank you if you've gotten this far in my video, and I'm going to thank you for supporting me. For those of you that have seen the video previously, I hope you understand that I had to delete it for certain reasons. I just did not want, didn't want there to be problems. So thank you again for all your love and support. If you need anything at all, feel free to message me here on Facebook or, wherever. Thank you again. Oh, or my email. All right, love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.